Game Chat with Bwana episode 47 coming at you right now.
Welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, your source for gaming news and reviews. Now, here's Bwana McCall.
This is Game Chat 1 episode 47. Game Chat 1 episode 47 coming at you live right about now. Twitch.tv and at live.bwana.tv. We all. This is Game Chat 1 episode 47. We are here at live.bwana.tv and at twitch.tv/Bwana. We do this every Monday night at about 6 p.m. Eastern, but tonight is a special exception of specialness because I was going to cancel the show because I had that prior engagement, had you said somewhere else, and they canceled. So I was like, well, what do I do? I know. Let's do Game Chat with Bwana anyway. So we're about hour and a half late, but it's all good. Those of you who got my tweets, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Bwana, so you can get updates on this kind of stuff. You non-followers are non-following. But I posted on Twitter that I'm going to go ahead and do a late show because my stuff got canceled. And here we are, Game Chat with Bwana. And what we do here at Game Chat with Bwana is that we talk about the last 7 days of gaming news. The last 7 days of stuff around the internet that we find related to console, PC, and just gaming stuff. Gaming companies and news and sales and political nonsense and court battles and stuff. And we find the best that we can find, but we don't find the best all the time. That's where you guys come in. You guys go to our forums at bwana.tv/forums, and you sign up there because it's such a great forum, great community. And you guys go over there, and then you post stories to augment my stories. Augment. I never asked for this. No. You augment our stories over at bwana.tv/forums, and then we talk about those. And then at the end of the show, we have title time. That's where you guys also, man, there's a lot of interaction in this show. I should get some kind of award, like a potato, a special potato that says, this goes to the most interactive podcaster on the internet. This special potato is awarded to bwana.tv. And I'll be like, and then everybody will be happy. And yes, we're going to go ahead and get started before everything gets weirder. On to our first story, we are going to talk about Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars, the Guild Wars Guild. Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2. And a lot of news is coming out. If you're excited about this game, prepare to be a little bit more excited because the limited beta began this weekend for certain press outlets. And pretty much an embargo was set until today for the new stuff to be basically unveiled. So a lot of people have been playing this over the weekend, a lot of people, the press outlets, and there's going to be a lot more coming, but a lot of these press outlets are posting stories and videos and playthroughs and what they think about certain aspects of the game. So it's time to get excited about this game. This is one of those MMOs. It's an MMORPG for PC. But it might not only be for PC. We're going to talk about that later. But this is an MMORPG which is aiming to break that stereotype that an MMORPG has to either be free to play with a cash shop of something, or it has to be buy to play with some sort of subscription fee. Typically, the standard fee today is like $15 a month. Guild Wars is aiming to provide that buy to play experience without a cash shop per se, but without subscription fees. And a lot of people are looking forward to that because of that, because, you know, in this economy, you really can't afford to pay $15 a month for a game you've already bought. A lot of people are finding that out. A lot of parents are going, man, I wish my son wasn't addicted to World of Warcraft. I could use that $15 a month for potatoes. Wow. $15 could buy a lot of potatoes. That's just going to be... I mean, I could take those said potatoes, I could dice them and put them in a pot and boil them. I could boil them, I could mash them. I could stick them in a stew. Potatoes. Potatoes.
What's taters, precious? What's taters, eh?
Potatoes. Guild Wars 2 limited beta test begins. Check this out, guys. It's over on arena.net. They got the details over there. Now, let's talk about our next story, which is very, very cool. The famed author of Minecraft, Notch, was streaming this today. It kind of brought it to my vision, my scope to vision. Dwarf Fortress is a game that's looked upon with high accolades by a lot of old school gamers and new school gamers alike. It offers a little bit of everything. Very lo-fi game. The graphics are going to put a lot of people off. Like, what the heck is that? I see letters, I see tick marks, and I see U's. And I see ampersands and @ signs moving around. How in the world are you going to make heads or tails out of this? Well, once you get into it, it is actually very, very involved. It is a great game. This update has been in the works that just came out. It has been in the works for 11 months. So let's look a little bit as to what actually is included in this, because there's a lot in here. The first one is that the cities in adventure mode will have various buildings, dungeons, items, livestock. You can protect your community from secret vampire dwarves. I mean, yeah. Secret vampire dwarves are always messing with my stuff. Or hunt them as an adventurer. Defend your fort during a full moon or risk a werewolf infestation. They have infestation here. Hunt, be hunted as an adventurer. Pesky werewolves, man. Face armies of the dead in dwarf mode or visit their necromancer's towers and learn the secrets as an adventurer. Evil regions where the dead and pieces of dead can come alive with evil mists and rain. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. A more battlefield information track, War Dead Raids and World Gen. All sponsorship animals with their giant man versions are in game now. Various new abilities for creatures. Adventurers can use creature abilities, learn powers as they are tested from the arena. New site travel map to make navigating towns easier. Reading swimming observer for traps relevant in advanced mode now. Established historical figures can lead bandits. Rivers block movement. You know, just a lot of Dwarf Fortress stuff. 11 months of patch notes going into this game. It is free. You can download and play Dwarf Fortress today for free if you head over to bay12games.com/dwarves. It is linked in an article that I have in the story. Big update, 11 months of work. So if you're looking to get into this game, I think now's a good time. Check it out, guys. This is over on indiegames.com. They got the details over there. Now, let's go over to movie time here. Let's watch a little video. Stop. Okay. 8-bit MMO, guys. That is an MMORPG that you just saw. Super lo-fi graphics, 8-bit graphics, and it has all the features of an MMO. And the entire world is player built. has PvP, and it's free. And you can play it in your browser at 8bitmmo.net. I found this a little bit intriguing because I think a lot of us who are addicted to Minecraft or played a lot of Minecraft has that. What we just saw is what a lot of us do in Minecraft. Completely player-built world. We add mods and stuff to make it like an MMO. And very lo-fi graphics. PvP. I think it's worth a shot. Check it out, guys. This is over on rockpapershotgun.com. They got the details over there. 8-bit MMO. Very, very cool game.
Game Chat with Bwana is recorded live before a worldwide audience every Monday night. You can participate by suggesting news stories. Just register an account in our forums at bwana.tv/forums.
One does not simply QWOP into Mordor, but if one were to QWOP into Mordor by QWOPing along with one's said friends in tastical QWOPness, one would be QWOPing into Mordor with QWOP squaredness. Because QWOP squared would be able to get into Mordor and QWOP and QWOP and QWOP QWOP. Every QWOP would be echoed with another QWOP, and there'd be multiple QWOPs going into Mordor. The doors would shake and open. Co-op QWOP, 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 co-op QWOP. Yeah. One can QWOP into Mordor with two-player QWOP. Now you can get your QWOP on with other people, and guess what? You can play on the same keyboard. I ain't even joking. The game suggests a second keyboard for best results, but both players can actually share a single keyboard. QWOP. If you haven't played QWOP, guys, this is a very funny game. It's funny because they made it very difficult. You're just a guy trying to run a sprint. And you jump some hurdles, and and you control the thighs and calves of the player using keys. And you have this awkward running motion that we always make QWOP jokes because just go to YouTube and search for QWOP and you'll find some funny stuff. I haven't seen any videos of some co-op QWOP yet. I can imagine they're going to be just as hilarious as the other QWOP videos. But now one can simply QWOP into Mordor if you do co-op QWOP, co-op QWOP. Check it out, guys. It's over on joystick.com. They got the details. Over there. Now, let's shift gears to the ridiculousness. FortressCraft, which is a very, very controversial game on Xbox Live, is getting a little bit more flack now that Minecraft is coming to Xbox Live. I read this and I was just shaking my head because I can understand some of the arguments, but I'm going to talk about what I disagree with. FortressCraft developer rejects claims that his game is a Minecraft clone. And if you read through the article, his main argument, well, one of his arguments is that, well, you can't call my game a clone because Minecraft itself is a clone. That's not true. You act like we can't make clones of clones. We can make clones of clones. It is possible. And the author of Minecraft has gone on to say that Minecraft is a clone of Infinite Miner. But you're saying you're not a clone of Minecraft. So there's a little bit of discrepancy there. If you play this game, you know that it is heavily, heavily based on Minecraft. But that, I can kind of I can kind of see some of that. That argument, okay. He's like saying, well, Minecraft's a clone. Stop calling me a clone. You don't call Minecraft a clone. Actually, we do call Minecraft a clone. But I can understand that. That's a kind of valid argument from a certain perspective. Here's where it comes off the rails. Here's a quote. Minecraft is a game about digging out resources, crafting weapons and armor, traveling to the nether, and killing a dragon. While it lets you be creative, that's never been its main focus. You can spend ages creating amazing things in it, but Minecraft's never been about the creative aspect. Any more than GTA is about making sculptures out of buses. Sure, you can do it, but the game doesn't lend itself to that, nor does it help you out. Oh, that's where we're in disagreement, Mr. Arthur of FortressCraft, Adam Sawkins. That's where we're in disagreement. Because looking back at the earliest versions of Minecraft, that's all it was. It was creative mode. That's how it started. That was its foundation. And if you play Minecraft today, I don't know if he's played it, there's a mode called Creative Mode, which does assist you, which gives you everything you need to be in Creative Mode. So yeah, he goes on to say some of the features of FortressCraft differentiate itself from Minecraft, and I agree with that. I do agree with that. Because FortressCraft does have a lot of things that Minecraft doesn't. It doesn't mean that it is not a clone of Minecraft. It is heavily based on Minecraft. And the timing of its release, you know, it's obvious. He's basically riding the curtails of Minecraft. Minecraft came out after Infinite Miner was dead, pretty much. So you can't really say Minecraft jumped on Infinite Miner's hype. Half the people never heard of Infinite Miner and jumped on Minecraft. So Notch kind of brought back something that was, you know, something that was good in the past that a lot of people loved, and those people jumped on Minecraft. But this guy, I mean, he jumped on Minecraft at the height of his hypeness, I should say. So he goes on to say, FortressCraft, on the other hand, has focused entirely on the creative aspect. It's a powerful voxel engine, allows complete creation and destruction of anything you want, has copy paste, can build entire cities in hours instead of days, blah, 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 blah. So, while I agree with some of his rebuttals, he's got to give credit where credit is due. He's distancing himself from Minecraft, and he shouldn't be. I really don't agree with his attitude about that. He shouldn't be distancing himself from Minecraft. It's okay to be a clone of another game if the other party is cool with it. Why does he think he's any less of a developer because he copied another game? I don't get that. He should embrace that. I don't know. Check it out, guys. This is over on GamePolitics.com. They got the details. I don't agree with his reasoning. I don't agree with his thought process. I mean, he can't hang everything on Infinite Miner. He's got to acknowledge Minecraft's existence I mean, if his game would have came out without Minecraft, would it have sold as much as it has? No one can answer that. He can't answer that. Check it out. And let's talk about Rayman. While we're talking a little bit about consoles, Rayman Origins is a great game. I have it for PS3. It's coming out for PC. We talked about this, I believe, last show or the show before that. Rayman Origins is coming to PC for $30. If you buy Rayman Origins, I think you get another copy of Rayman free or some other version of Rayman. I don't remember exactly what it was. But this article, I wanted to bring this up because a lot of gamers don't understand this. This article talks about how Rayman Origins is actually profitable, but it wasn't a huge success by today's standards. And what do I mean by that? I mean that a lot of gamers look at whether a game was in the top 10, whether it sold millions and millions of copies, whether it won Game of the Year awards, had a lot of nominations. And if it doesn't meet that criteria, a lot of gamers today would consider that game to be a flop or a failure. Rayman Origins actually turned a profit for Ubisoft, but it didn't get all those accolades that you usually get with a lot of profitable games. And they expect the title to make money in the long run. So it's not just going to be a one-time deal like, Call of Duty, where after that year is up, sales pretty much go to zero for the most part. So I'm happy to see titles like this succeed because the game is solid, not because of hype, and not because of awards, and not because of sales. Millions and millions of sales. Sales are important. I'm not going to say sales aren't important. But I'm glad to see that this title is doing well because you guys need to buy this. This is a game that Bwana recommends. Buy Rayman Origins. Whether it be for the Vita. If you're going to get the Vita, get Rayman Origins. PS3, PC, get Rayman Origins. It's going to be $30 for PC. I got mine for, I think, $39.99 at GameStop. I think that's where the price was. So it's not a $60 game. But you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Check it out, guys. This is over on escapistmagazine.com. They got the details over there. Check it out. It is fun.
Please support Game Chat with Bwana by turning off your ad blocking software.
It's movie time. Green. Yay! So if you like peripherals, this may be the story for you. The popular peripheral company Razer has introduced some Mass Effect stuff. Lots of things. We got a keyboard. It's an N7 themed version of the Black Widow Ultimate. It's a mechanical keyboard. The Imperator mouse. The Onza Tournament Edition 360 controller. The Chimera 360 headset, and the Vespula mousepad. There's also an iPhone 4S case and a messenger bag to protect and safeguard peripherals and gadgets from the intensity of intergalactic warfare. And that's just so cheesy. These look like some pretty decent accessories. If you're not into this kind of stuff, you're like, well, I'm happy with my Dell keyboard. This is not the story for you. The keyboard, it's got that mesh, kind of feel. The red keys, they got the font of Mass Effect. If you are really, really into Mass Effect, these are probably going to satisfy you. And this is a mechanical keyboard, so it's got, excuse me, it's got a USB hub on it. It's got a keyboard. What's that? That's a headset and a mic jack inside of the keyboard. So it's got a little mini hub built in. Here's the N7 mouse. Razer makes some decent products, so it's not like you're getting garbage. This mouse pad is the one that interests me. If I didn't just buy one, I'd probably be looking at this one. That's a pretty nice looking mouse pad. And I am into this kind of stuff. I do like high-end input peripherals because I spend a lot of time on the computer. Here's the 360 headset. It's got the amplifier, the stand, and all that stuff. Looks pretty good. N7 themed. I mean, if you're into Mass Effect, this stuff looks good. It really does. It looks really good. And there's the Xbox 360 controller. Very, very nice designs by Razer. Congratulations on these guys. There's some very, very nice stuff here. Check it out, guys. It's over on joystick.com. Razer has introduced some Mass Effect peripherals for you guys to spend your hard-earned money on. What? Hard-earned money on why? Check it out. Joystick.com. Good news is over. Now let's talk about the bad. Yeah, it's bad news now because EA is showing their ugly head once again. What is it with EA and their promises? They just can't keep promises. I think back to the whole PS3 debacle with Battlefield 3. They promised Battlefield 1943 with every copy of PS3 Battlefield 3 that was sold. They failed to do that, even though they made amends, but failed to do that. Now they've kind of dropped the ball again, and I was one of the ones looking at this. The guys over at Origin basically stated that if you pre-order Mass Effect 3, you would get a copy of Battlefield 3. And I was like, cool, I can have a copy to give away because I'm going to probably buy the game anyway. They said that, originally they said that it was going to be over on March 5th. But they kind of ended it early. It's over right now. So a lot of people are like, oh, I have till March 5th. Well, maybe I could just wait to pre-order like on the 3rd or the 2nd, and then I get mad. And they kind of changed it. It's like, we're going to end it now. And I'm going, how you doing that? How you just gonna sit there and tell me how you doing that? I don't know. I don't know if it's miscommunication within the company, or just arrogance, or just people being stupid. But they just upped and changed the date. Yeah. So if you're looking forward to getting a free copy of Battlefield 3 with your Mass Effect 3 pre-order, the offer's up early. Check it out, guys. That's over on joystick.com. They got the details over there about that deal, boy. Just say, well done in that story.
Game Chat with Bwana is recorded live before a worldwide audience every Monday night. You can participate by suggesting news stories. Just register an account in our forums at bwana.tv/forums.
Alright, so let's move on a little bit. We're going to talk about a game that I've been playing a lot of. I don't think you guys know this, but I put a good amount of hours into Final Fantasy 13-2. I was one of the ones who liked 13. So take that into consideration. Like, Bwana, oh my goodness, 13 was the worst Final Fantasy out of all of them. How can you even cover this story? How can you even talk about Final Fantasy? Final Fantasy is dead to me. It is dead to me. I look back on my Final Fantasy memories, and I reach back in my brain, I grab those memories, and I throw them on a campfire, and then I stomp on top of them. Because Final Fantasy, to me, is dead. Well, I'm not thinking that way. Final Fantasy 13-2 is a game I finished. I actually bought the Lightning DLC. Where you get a Coliseum fight with Lightning, and if you get a special drop, she can join your party, and you can play with her in the game. So a new DLC has been announced. It was the Lightning DLC was $2.99. It was $3. They haven't announced a price for this, but this is going to be a new. This is not just going to be a Coliseum fight or arena fight. This is actually going to be downloadable content in the form of an episode. It's called Sazh, Heads or Tails. And Sazh was easily my favorite character in Final Fantasy 13. He had a lot of charisma. The voice acting was great. It was easy to fall in love with him. He had the chocobo in his afro. I didn't really get that, but it grew on me. And now I want a chocobo in my beard fro.
Quack. Quack. Quack, quack.
That'd be kind of awkward if I'm talking and a chocobo jumps out of my beard and just goes quack, and then jumps back in. Everybody's like, "What just happened on that stream right there? A little bird jumped out that man's beard and started talking." I really don't know what's going on these internets. But Square Enix has announced a new Final Fantasy 13-2 downloadable episode called Sazh Hazard Tales. You can take control of Sazh, excuse me, if you finish the content. So it's not like you're going to have to fight him. The new episode provides players with a chance to control Sazh, a story that runs in parallel with the narrative of the main game. So I was happy to hear that, because I don't want to, okay, let's say, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know 13-2 story, mute now. Okay. 13-2, you were wondering the whole time, well, where the heck is Sazh? They revisited just about everybody. Hope, they revisited Snow, they revisited Lightning. Nobody said anything about Sazh. So like the very end, he makes a pop cameo. Like, what the heck was he doing? So they've kind of saved that as DLC, which I'm not crazy about. It's nickel and dime is getting a little bit out of hand, but I'm a Final Fantasy nut. I'm going to buy it because I ain't got no sense. Mainly buying it for Sazh. It's going to include some more content in the little mini game components of Final Fantasy 13-2. One called Chronobind and Serendipity Poker. I didn't do any of that in the game. I didn't do the little side games. I just was not interested in that, so I'm not concerned about that. Going to be interested to see how much this is going to cost. My gut says it's going to be $10, which to me is kind of overpriced. But I'm hoping it's along the lines of $5.99 or even $3. That would be even better if it's a decent length. So check it out, guys. This is over on sggaminginfo.com. They got the details about this new DLC announced by Square Enix. Now let's talk about Sony. PS Vita is getting a lot of hype because it's coming out. And I am a little bit concerned about Sony. I was a Sony fanboy in the 90s, even before the PlayStation dropped. I was a big fan of Sony TVs and Sony audio-video equipment. I had a lot of that stuff in my house. It was very reliable, and I had good reason to be a Sony fanboy because I still have a TV I bought in 96. I think it was 96, 97. Sony Trinitron TV runs great. Still have it. I'm concerned about Sony because, well, this story, let's first talk about this story, and I'll tell you why I'm concerned. Sony's going to drop $50 million on marketing for the PS Vita. $50 million on marketing. And they really, really, really want this to succeed. If you look at this quote in the article, it says, "We want the Vita to sell." We really want the Vita to sell. And a lot of people gave Sony some flack because a lot of their other stuff didn't sell because their marketing was poor. Not necessarily the money they put behind it, but the marketing materials that came out of that were pretty poor. Think back to some of those wacky PlayStation 3 ads before what's his name came about. The crazy guy everybody loves. Can't remember his name off the bat. But before he came along, the ads were kind of terrible. So they want this to sell. Now that I've gotten this story out of the way, let's talk about Sony themselves. They have been losing money like crazy. I mean, they have been losing more money than a lot of companies make in their entire lifespan. I think this article states it. I don't think they have the exact numbers, but their last earnings call was terrible. Yeah, Kevin Butler, that's who I'm talking about. Before Kevin Butler, the ads were terrible. Kevin Butler kind of saved the PS3. I think they know that. So, PS Vita, when the specs were announced, everybody declared the DS dead. The 3DS dead. And then the 3DS dropped its price, and then it rebounded. While the PlayStation Vita has great specs, I mean, if you've seen the videos, if you've seen the gameplay, it looks like a miniature PS3, which is what people want. They are up against some stiff competition. And it's not mainly Nintendo. It is this thing right here. These mobile phones have gutted, and I called it many years ago, I told Sony and Nintendo they need to pay attention to Apple, and later along Android came along. I said they need to pay attention to Android. The mobile phone industry has gutted the mobile gaming industry. No longer do you see a lot of kids with 3DSs and PlayStation Portables. And back in when I was growing up, it was Game Boys, Game Boys Advance. They used to be everywhere. Now, the casual market has pulled in all these billions of dollars. And it has fueled a lot of gaming companies to drop more, quote-unquote, hardcore titles to smartphones. And you're going, what? Yeah, yes. Hardcore titles to smartphones. These smartphones now have enough horsepower in them to really do some incredible stuff. Now, the controls is another argument. I'm not going to argue that. But Sony's got to go up against that as well. They tried with some PSP ads with that little kid, very annoying, talking about your games suck on the phone. Why are you playing that? It's taking that hardcore approach. I don't think that helped Sony at all. But I'm concerned. I'm really concerned about Sony. They are on a downward spiral. They are one of my favorite tech companies. Even with all the evil they've done, they still stand out. I mean, I'm looking at TVs now and I'm going, what does Sony have? It's been ingrained in my brain. Sony will drop $50 million on U.S. PlayStation marketing, PlayStation Vita marketing. Check it out, guys. It's over in escapismagazine.com. They got details over there. And for our final story, we're going to kind of do a related article. Sony's kind of betting the farm on this. Sony is betting the farm on this Call of Duty title. Call of Duty is coming to the PlayStation Vita this fall. And if it's going to be what I think it is, I think it's going to be a pretty good COD experience. You're going to have 2 analog sticks. You're going to have bumpers. You're going to have multiplayer. It's not going to be the COD that it is on the smartphones, or I guess I should say the Battlefield. If you play Battlefield on the smartphone, it's kind of laughable. I'm never going back to that. Bad Company 2 was terrible on the phone, and so was Battlefield. I didn't play Battlefield 3 because I don't think it's out. But I remember Bad Company 2. Terrible. I think COD is going to be successful on the Vita. Whether it's going to be what they think it's going to be, I don't know. Here's the quote they have. In the autumn, they're really looking forward to Call of Duty and Vita, and we think that this is going to be an absolute game changer. This is coming from the Senior Vice President Guy Longworth, hired by Sony in October 2011. He thinks it's going to be an absolute game changer for the platform. So, it's debatable. COD does bring in money, so it's a smart investment. I gotta say, this is a smart investment. You can hate on the game all you want. It's a smart investment. Is it going to be a game changer? Are you kids going to want to play COD on the bus, on the train, in those long car rides? Or are you going to wait till you get home and jump on your 360, or your PS3, or your PC? Remains to be seen. This is the part that I don't agree with is game changer for the platform. I don't think it's gonna sell the platform. To me, that's what he's saying. That this game's gonna sell for the platform. It's gonna be a game changer. It's gonna flip the sales. Everybody's gonna buy it all of a sudden. I don't foresee that. I don't have any kind of evidence. It's just a gut feeling. I don't think it's gonna be that much. I think it's gonna help the platform though. But a lot of this remains to be seen. Check it out, guys, over on joystick.com. They got the details over there. And that concludes all of my stories that I have. We're going to go move on to the user-submitted stories that you guys have submitted over on Bwana.tv/forums.
Game Chat with Bwana is recorded live before a worldwide audience every Monday night. You can participate by suggesting news stories. Just register an account in our forums at Bwana.tv/forums.
Alright, so head over to our forums at Bwana.tv/forums. You can sign up there, get an account, communicate with our community. Great little forums, great little community. We're not stupid people. We're nice. We'll welcome you if you're not dumb. If you're dumb, we'll turn you away from the door and we'll kick you in the shin. User submitted stories. This is the stories that you guys submit to augment the stories that I already have. We're going to start off with Emrandil. Emrandil has posted some conference call highlights. Guild War 2 console version confirmed. And I remember reading this and my brain kind of said, what? Martin of ArenaNet chimed over at Guru with the following response. I think stay calm, don't panic will become my new mantra. We stated multiple times in public that we have a small team working on the console version, but that we are fully dedicated to making the most beep game for the PC. I don't remember this. They're taking this nonchalant attitude that, oh yeah, we said a long time ago we're making a console version of Guild Wars 2. I didn't hear about this. We've stated publicly. I was not in the public when you stated it. Direct quote of Guild Wars 2 beta timeframe and the possibility of a console port launching at the same time as a PC version. They will be holding large beta tests in March and April. The results from blah 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 blah. So it's well. First off, let me comment on the history of MMORPGs on consoles. It is entirely possible to do this. Final Fantasy XI was one of the first ones that I saw that had huge success doing it. Final Fantasy XI simultaneously launched on PC and PlayStation platforms in the US. The game had been out in Japan for a while. PlayStation port, I believe the PlayStation and PC port were timed in the US to come out at the same time. And all the players played on the same servers. You really couldn't tell who was on which platform unless someone had to type something. Because a lot of the PS players, PlayStation players, PlayStation 2 I should say players, didn't attach keyboards yet. Once they figured out how to attach a keyboard, you literally couldn't tell. And it also later came to the Xbox 360 a couple of years later. Final Fantasy XI, MMORPG. Final Fantasy XIV is aiming to do the same thing. They're going to be launching on the PlayStation platform as well as the PC platform. So it is possible. One of the hang-ups, and it was kind of sloppily done on Xbox Live, I recall, because I did have an Xbox Live copy, or Xbox 360 copy of Final Fantasy XI. One of the hang-ups is the subscription fees, because gamers on consoles are not used to this. They're used to buying a game once, and that's it. The only thing, if they're going to buy something else, is DLC. They're not used to paying monthly subscription fees. So that was really, really sloppy in the past, and it's kind of a hurdle now. Sony got past, not Sony, but Square Enix got past it with Final Fantasy XI, but, you know, a lot of other game makers see it as a hurdle. The thing that differentiates those games and Guild Wars 2 is that Guild Wars 2 will not have a monthly fee. So that hurdle is going to be put out of the way for consoles. You will not have to pay a monthly fee, so you don't have to worry about that. The combat system in Guild Wars is an action-based combat system. I can't really say if it's going to be friendlier to game controllers or not. But based on what I've seen in Terra, I think we're moving towards that. Terra is another action-based MMO, action combat MMO. And even in the game text, they have stuff related to if you have a controller hooked up. I don't use a controller per se, but after playing Terra a little bit, I can see how people can use a controller. I wouldn't recommend it because, you know, panning the camera around, you know, can be a little bit clumsy on the consoles for me. I would prefer a mouse to pan cameras around. Like really fast if I have to look behind me. So it is possible. And I really think they're going to do it. I really think they're going to do it. I think... I don't think they're, I mean, because I thought back to Apple, when Apple said that when they first went Intel, when they first moved from PowerPC to Intel, they were like, oh, yeah, we've been working on an Intel version of Mac OS X for years now, in parallel, just in case. they didn't really scrap that. They eventually came out with it. And I was like, well, you know, they got a small team on the consoles. There's a lot of money to be made on the consoles. ArenaNet knows this. They're not ignoring that fact. There's a lot of money to be made, and it could kind of help them with their costs of server upkeep if they get those extra sales from consoles. So this may be a fallback plan. Hey, sales may be good on PC, but our infrastructure costs were a little bit higher than we thought, so let's release a console version to kind of make up for that. So, good article. I think it's coming. Personally, I wouldn't want to play it on there. I'm not going to panic, but it's a shift in mindsets. It's Guild Wars, Terra, Dragon Nest, Vindictus. They're all leading the way to a new type of MMORPG that I like, and it's going to be console friendly. I think we're just going to have to accept that. Check it out, guys. That's over on Guild Wars Insider. Thanks for that story, Imrindel. Next story, Rift. 21,879 couples set new world record. Yeah, Rift had an event where they were trying to set a Guinness World Record for the most in-game marriages in an MMORPG. On Valentine's Day, 22,000 couples took the virtual marriage plunge in Rift. That's almost 44,000 players. As a result, Rift takes its place in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most in-game marriages in a 24-hour period. Why they did this, I don't know. I guess Rift wanted to be in Guinness. Cool story, bro. Thanks for that link, Imran Dill. Okay, endless post that Humble Bundle, Mojam, makes nearly $500,000 for charity. Why did I do new window? New tab. And this was a very, very interesting event that occurred over the weekend. Mojam was a live streamed game development marathon, if you will. Two companies, built 3 games for charity. And they put up a poll as to what type of genre we want these games to be. And people chose steampunk, RTS, and ancient Egypt, first-person shooters, some weird mashups. So they picked the first and last of the people in the polls, or the entries in the polls, and they made these games. These games are now done, and they raised $500,000 for charity. They put this on the front page of Humble Bundle. You had the opportunity to donate whatever you wanted, and split it out between Child's Play, the Water Charity, and EFF. I'm probably missing some. So yeah, $458,000 was raised in 60 hours, around thereabouts. There were some time zone changes that made the window a little bit longer. 81,000 bundles were purchased. Notch and his crew, they included the soundtrack for their game, so I was really happy to see C418 contributing to this. It was a very cool experience, and I think what a lot of people don't get about these development marathons is that you get to see the game development process for free. In the past, that was something that was privileged. You really couldn't see inside the game, from the code to the modeling to the graphics to the music to the animations. It gives us a greater understanding of the game development process. As a result, a lot of people have rethought their career path. Some people may have wanted to be a CS programmer for just for making applications. They probably saw this and they're like, well, I can get into game development. This looks really, really cool. And a lot of the tools they were using were free for download, so you can actually download the tools that they use. It was a very cool experience to watch this. And I think Notch was very popular for streaming his Ludum Dare 48-hour challenges. People got to see him build games from scratch, start to finish, in 48 hours. So you get a glimpse of how that process goes. So the games are called Catacomb Snatch. This is Egyptian steampunk theme RTS / shoot 'em up called Catacomb Snatch. Oxeye made a game called Fists of Resistance, and Wolfire made a game called The Broadside Express. Broadside Express has a really cool looking train. Gotta say, that train is very, Very cool. Okay, here are the charities: Child's Play, EFF, Charity Water, and American Red Cross. I forgot about Red Cross. All right. Thank you, Endless, for the story. That's over on Joystick. Okay. So Rams has posted a link. Is this the golden age of video games? This is the golden age of video games. According to who? Regardless, I believe we're currently experiencing the perfect storms of blockbuster AAA experiences, mass market adoption via social and mobile, smaller digitally distributed releases, and finally a thriving community of wild experimental art game creators. So this is according to IGN, and lots of text here. They're talking about mass market and mainstream acceptance. Too long didn't read, aka the resurgence of long dead ideals. This generation has seen a resurgence of point-and-click adventures, 2D platformers, twin-stick shooters, and virtually everything else in the video game industry was in danger of losing entirely. I would argue against this. I'm taking a devil's advocate position because I think I don't think it's a golden age. I think it's just a peak. I don't like the word golden age because a lot of games we're seeing today were invented or concocted a long time ago. And we're seeing a resurgence of them, yes. We're seeing a rehash of them, yes. We're seeing remakes of them, yes. And frankly, we're seeing way too many sequels. We're seeing way too many sequels and not enough original IP. I don't think we're in the golden age of video games. I think we're at a peak point. I think we're at a high point. Way too many sequels, way too many rehashed ideas, way too many money-hungry publishers making the gamer suffer for dollars. I think from a corporate standpoint, I think they're just ecstatic. They're taking these long vacations. But a lot of times we say too many games. We always say there's too many games. There's too many games. There's too many games out. And if you look at the list of games, I would say almost every time over half of them are sequels of a pre-existing IP. If you go back to the days of the arcades, I like the Dice Awards where they paid homage to the guy who made Asteroids and Dig Dug. Not Dig Dug. Asteroids and Centipede. I mean, that guy built something that had never been done. And it was wildly successful. And it's still being played today. And you see games like Zelda. You see games like the Nintendo IPs. When they first came out, there was like nothing like that out there. And of course, they're still beating it into the ground. They're still rehashing it, which I don't like. Let's come out with something new. See a game like Rayman. When it came out, people were like, what is this? The platformers were a big deal. The shooters were a big deal when they came out. Now they're reaching a peak, not a golden age. I don't think it's a golden age. And maybe it's just semantics by me with just a word choice. You can argue that, but I would not look back on 2012 or 2011 and say, wow, that was an incredible year in the history of gaming. Now I'd be like, nah, there's a lot of sequels. There's a lot of sequels out. So yeah, what Bwana wants is more IP, more new IP, more fresh IP. When I say IP, I mean intellectual property. I want Nintendo to get a new mascot. I love this guy, but it's time to move on. Oh my gosh, Nintendo. It's time to move on. They're going for the moneymakers. Thanks for that article, Sarams. Let's see. Blizzard announces WoW, Monopoly, and StarCraft Risk. This is over on IGN as well. And they're not joking. Monopoly, World of Warcraft, and Risk StarCraft are coming soon. These are actually board games. The company is holding a vote via Facebook where you can choose where set pieces will make it into the final version of the Monopoly game. And it's going to be available for $40 in May. Risk StarCraft will hit stores with a $50 price tag. Can't say I'm excited about this. Even though I love these board games. I like Risk, I like Monopoly. You know, I think the last themed game that I bought and wanted to play was the Lord of the Rings edition of the Trivial Pursuit. I think it was Trivial Pursuit or even Monopoly. Monopoly, that's what it was. But yeah, if you guys are into these board games or just collect them, it's cool. They're coming out in May and in summer. They just say summer for the other one. Thanks a lot for that, Sarams. Moving on, Mech in Tech. Japan cautious on PS Vita. Japan cautious on PS Vita. PlayStation Vita's first couple of months in Japan have been rocky. Another way of saying they've been terrible. Increasing the pressure on its UK and US launch on February 22nd. With pundits already questioning its ability to compete against the iPhone's functionality, this guy, and Nintendo's 3DS lower price and expanding games library, this guy. Sony needs to learn its lessons with Japanese launch, blah, 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 blah. PS Vita sales in Japan have been sluggish. Yes, the launch lineup was excellent in the eyes of Western gamers at least. First weekend sales of 324,859 were encouraging, but that dropped to 72,000 in week 2 and 42,000 in week 3. PSP continues to outsell the Vita, as does the PS3. It all comes down to Monster Hunter. The popularity of Capcom's beast butchering action RPG to Japanese gamers cannot be overstated, and unfortunately is not on the Vita. I agree with that. Monster Hunter kept the PSP alive in Japan for years after the West have written it off, with its recent iteration, Portable Third, selling over 5 million copies. Monster Hunter is a great game. Terror reminds me of Monster Hunter. Although the franchise isn't as popular in the West, without its success, the PSP may not have survived, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, Japan needs to be careful, or Japan is going to be careful with the Vita's launch. And we talked a lot about this in the show. This is just providing some hit points on the Hunter. Monster Hunter sales. In Japan's blogosphere, the PS Vita's reception is mixed. Most owners are pleased with the hardware. It seems that once you play the PS Vita, going back to 3DS tiny screen and hand knackering form is no fun. Once you touch a Vita, you'll want to save up for one as quickly as possible, said one online fan. I need to go into a GameStop and actually look at the screen. I've seen the kiosks, but I haven't played with them. Many are furious about the system's numerous bugs. Here we go. Severe freezes that require fiddly power button holding techniques to remedy, with the game progress lost in the process. Oh, that's very, very frustrating. Alright, let's jump down to the quote. Sony knows that Japanese people will put up with problems like this without complaining, and that's why it's released the Vita here before the West to iron out the bugs. Ranted the user in the popular Japanese gossip forum 2chan. Yeah, this is a pretty long article. Very informative. Japan is cautious on PS Vita. Thanks for that, Mech in Tech. Nintendo 3DS breaking sales records. Just what Sony wanted to hear, right? That price drop was what they needed, man. I'm telling you. Price drop plus Zelda equals success. Alright. Nintendo announced today that the 3DS is the fastest selling console in the history of Japan. The 3DS has officially sold 5 million copies in only 52 weeks, beating out the original Nintendo DS by 4 weeks. I would love to see a graph. I would love to see a chart of just how the sales were going and then how it was affected by, number one, Zelda's release, and number two, by the price drop. I would love to see that because when it came out, man, people were concerned. They were like, "Oh, 3DS not selling so well. Okay, we'll drop the price. All right, I'll buy it now. Zelda's out." Now the question becomes, since the Nintendo 3DS has picked up so much momentum, can the PS Vita compete? That's what we're asking ourselves. That's why everybody's so cautious. Personally, guys, I never got on the DS 3DS train. I don't like stylus stuff. That turned me off of the DS immediately. I hate styluses. I used a lot of styluses with Palm Pilots. I can't stand it. Which is why when I saw, this is a tangent, which is why when I saw a Samsung commercial with people raving over a pen, the guy was using the Samsung, they were making fun of Apple, right? He picked out he got a Samsung Android phone and he started tapping on it with a pen, stylus, and the lady was like, or the guy was like, "It has a pen?" I'm like, that's not a good thing. I hate styluses, man. Oh boy. Which is why I bought a PSP instead of a DS. But since then I've been doing a lot of finger tapping. The latest game I've been playing on my iPhone has been, it's like Angry Birds but miniature golf. And I don't remember the name of it. It is called, I just downloaded it last night, Egg Punch. It's exactly like Angry Birds, set up just like Angry Birds, but it's all miniature golf stuff. So yeah, Nintendo 3DS breaking sales records. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. WhatCulture.com has that link. Thanks for those links, Mech in Tech. That premium supporter badge. Thanks a lot for supporting us. Gabe Newell talks about wearable computers, why consoles should open up, and game ownership. This has been the story of the day. Penny Arcade report. Penny Arcade has launched a new journalism section. And Gabe is rocking the beard. Is it going to reach Bwana epicness proportions? I don't know, Gabe. I don't know. You got some work to do. Gabe and beard and okay. And Valve's Gabe Newell talks wearable computers, why consoles should open up, and game ownership. Now, there's a lot to this article. He even mentioned some Half-Life 3 in this. And one of the things I remember, I didn't read it all, but I did read some segments. He was talking about the possibility. I think that he said if Valve has to make their own hardware, they will. They will. And I was kind of happy to hear that. He doesn't like the proprietaryism of the consoles, I can tell. But this is a very, very long article. Lots of stuff Gabe's saying in here. Here it is. Now you see the future where Valve is actually selling hardware, or do you want to have things that could take advantage of that technology should it be popular? He says, well, if we have to sell hardware, we will. We have no reason to believe we're any good at it. It's more we think we need to continue to have innovation, and if the only way to get these kind of projects started is by us going and developing and selling hardware directly, then that's what we'll do. It's definitely not the first thought that crosses our mind. We'd rather hardware people that are good at manufacturing and distributing hardware do that. We think it's important enough that if that's what we end up having to do, then that's what we'll end up having to do. And I like that answer. Even though I wouldn't want to see another hardware platform come out. But, yeah. And he talks about wearable computers and biofeedback, blah, 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 blah. Which, that kind of stuff scares me. It really does. I don't like bio and hardware, anything. And he goes on. This is a 3-page interview. I highly recommend you guys read through this. I'm not going to go through it all now, but that's a great link from the Gaben. Thanks for that, Coggleson. Okay. Tensei has posted a link. 8-bit open world game Retro City Rampage. Coming to PlayStation 3, Vita, Xbox Live Arcade, WiiWare, and PC Steam. Retro City Rampage. Retro City Rampage lets you play as the player. Take the wheel of 5-finger discounts on over 30 vehicles and wield 20 weapons. Make you say, whoa. Run down innocent pedestrians. Sounds like what you call it. Carjack of the 80s at 88 miles per hour. Yeah. Sounds like what's the game? Can't think. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking. GTA. Sounds like GTA. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto. RetroCityRampage.com. Thanks for that, Tensei. And that's all the stories that we have. And guess what time it is, y'all? Guess what time it is, y'all? I don't think y'all know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? I think it's title time. It is title time. Title time is when you guys come up with snazzy titles. Something to make it go witty, smiley-ish. That's based on the stories that we talked about, both of my stories and your stories. So that when we go to YouTube, we see the title and be like, man, that's cool. Let's do it. And the titles are rolling in. Let's start talking them. I Can't Have Sazh, Sawkins and EA being derps, co-op, QWOP, and wearable computers. Adam Sawkins holds up a fortress. Turn it down a little bit. FortressCraft, not a clone, with a bunch of QWOP. Good marketing is Vita. Better get a beta. Mass Effect 3 includes a Razer. One flew of the co-op QWOP. My time is limited for Guild Wars 2. Who needs enemies when you got potatoes? Hit QWOP and you don't stop. Hip QWOP, you don't stop. FortressCraft, The Clone Wars, or Minecraft, The Clone Wars. WoWopoly and Riskcraft, now available. No monthly fees. Origin had a Mass Effect on the battlefield. Origin cheats us out of the BF3 bonus, with EA emphasized. Attack of the Clones. Finally, Vampire Dwarf's Protection. One does not merely QWOP into Bumbledore. WoW Monopoly. Monthly fees to be announced. Half-Life 3 announced Kappa. MMO equals Minecraft meets other games. Dwarf Fortress Craft is not a clone. Co-op, QWOP, and Rayman flop. Do the quarter QWOP. Vita success is vital for Sony. Cloning clones is not technically cloning, stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, Shepard has left the battlefield. Minecraft has mining and crafting? What? Nintendo sells. Graphs or it didn't happen. Sony needs to copy Nintendo. FortressCraft needs to not copy Minecraft. Sony QWOPing their Vita with 50 mil. Alright, so let's pick some titles. One. Okay. Here's two. This third one's going to be hard. I gotta decide. Then we're going to do 4 this time. I can't decide, so we're going to do 4. Alright, 4 titles. 4 titles today. If you guys don't know, what we're going to do is that we're going to post all the titles preceded with a number, and you're going to vote for your favorite title. And once BJoy starts the poll, just go ahead and vote. So here they come. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh crap, I messed up the copy. Here we go. And there's 4. Alright. If you don't know what to do, it's time to get on that vote train. Look at the numbers. Vote between 1 and 4 for your favorite title. Number 1 is QWOP and Rayman flop. I Can't Have Sazh is 2. Finally, Vampire Dwarf's Protection is 3. Mass Effect 3 includes a Razer is 4. Do it like you know it. Alright, 10 more seconds. Looks like everybody who's voted is going to vote. And the winner is 1. QWOP and Rayman flop. Congratulations, Sazh. You have won title time with Game Chat Bwana. QWOP and Rayman flop. But guess what? You're not getting any prizes. We ain't giving you nothing. Not a thing. I lied. We're going to give you accolades. We're going to give you those things called Game Chat with Bwana accolades and bragging rights. Because here at Game Chat with Bwana, those accolades and bragging rights are just as powerful as the Goku Spirit Bomb, where he holds up his arms and gathers all the QWOP and plop and flop Rayman flops from everybody on the globe and the universe and says, everybody stretch out. We have Game Chat with accolades coming in, and Sazh holds out his hand. There's a little ball with my freaking ugly face on it going. And then you throw it and kill somebody. But I'm not going to take credit for the kill because you won that with Game Chat with Bwana accolades. Congratulations to Sazh. You win Game Chat with Bwana title time. QWOP and Rayman flop. And that concludes Game Chat Bwana episode 47. I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight. Here at live.bwana.tv and at twitch.tv/Bwana. We do this every Monday night at about 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, but we started a little bit late tonight because Bwana had some stuff he had to do. But it got canceled, then it got uncanceled, then it got canceled, then it got uncanceled. So follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Bwana so you can be kept in the know of all these changes that happen. If you want to come by and watch us live, that's the best way to know whether I'm going to be doing Game Chat, whether we're going to be late, whether we're going to be on time. Follow me at twitter.com/Bwana. You can also follow me at twitter.com/Bwana live if you want to be notified when I go live. Every time I go live here at twitch.tv, I post a little tweet to that special account so that I don't spam you guys on the other account. That Bwana live account is strictly for stream purposes. It just says Bwana's going live playing blah. And I'm playing blah. I am going to be playing Mass Effect quite a bit for the next few days. I did day 1 on Saturday. I played about 10 hours of Mass Effect 1, trying to get through these games before Mass Effect 3 comes out. And I did a fair amount of Mass Effect 1. Then after Mass Effect 1, I'm going to move on to Mass Effect 2. And hopefully by the release date of Mass Effect 3, I'll be completely finished with the first 2. So I'll be able to hold up those Mass Effect accolades just like Game Chat with Bwana accolades. And I won't have to apologize to you guys all the time and say, oh, guys, I couldn't get past the controls of Mass Effect. They make me stupid. So I stopped. And they do make me stupid. I had to go and, after I played Mass Effect for 10 hours, I had to go and wash my face with peroxide and butter. Follow me at twitch.tv/Bwana as well. We play other games, maybe sprinkling in a few more games in between the Mass Effectness and stuff like that. I want to thank all of our premium members, all of our premium subscribers. You guys are paying me $5 a month, and half of that comes to me. You get the benefits of no advertising on twitch.tv/Bwana. You get a special title on the forums called Premium Supporter. You get no ads on the forum. You also get access to certain special Minecraft servers, which are currently being worked on. I do realize they have been sucking lately, so we're trying to get those addressed. And we're always looking for new ideas. So guys, if you do subscribe or you haven't subscribed, send me a forum PM, send me an email, send me a Twitter. Say, Bwana, it'd be nice if you could do this for subscribers. You know, give me ideas. I'm all about generating a huge list. There's never too much for me. I want a huge list of stuff for everybody supporting me, because that, you know, that to receive money from strangers on the internet, you know, it's a special thing. It just doesn't happen all the time. So I'm grateful to you guys for your support. That concludes episode of game. Oh, you get cake too. You also get cake in the Twitch TV chat. You get a cake icon next to your name. That concludes episode 47 of Game Chat with Bwana. I want to thank everybody for coming by, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Have a great day, night, afternoon. Bye.